pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you everyone for being here this evening. We'll get started first with, we don't have a Centuica Positive. I'm used to starting with a Centuica Positive, so hopefully we get back to that
Next
later,
time,
next meeting. All right. All right, so first we have approval of the agenda. Can I have a motion on the agenda, please?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any comments or questions? All right, Mr. Walker's here virtually this evening. He's at the firehouse tonight, so we will be voting by roll call. Mr. McKinney?
Yes.
Mr. Hooker?
Yes.
Mrs. Wooten?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
And myself, I will vote yes, so we have an agenda. Next on our agenda is the first preliminary determination hearing for project financing with Mrs. Kizzy.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Hello.
Okay. This is a hearing. If you're interested in speaking at the hearing, please make sure you've signed the sign-in sheet, which should include your name and address. After a presentation by administration, there will be an opportunity for the public to make comments about the projects. At the hearing, we'll ask that each person limit their comments to 3 minutes and that the topic be limited to the proposed projects under consideration. The notice of this preliminary determination hearing was published as legally required. At this time, I'll ask that Mrs. Gizzi explain the purpose of this hearing.
Thank you. Pursuant to Indiana Code, a school corporation must hold 2 public hearings and adopt a resolution to preliminarily determine to issue bonds or enter a lease for a project which has a total project cost in excess of certain thresholds. These public hearings and the future consideration of resolutions are the beginning of the legal process. We note that no board action is legally required at this hearing. Rather, the hearing is solely to hear public comment regarding the project.
Okay, we will now hear from Mrs. Gizzi about the process of determining the projects to the community and the need for the projects, as well as information on how the proposed projects will be financed, as well as information about the effect on the typical property taxpayer.
So as you are aware, as our board, the school corporation has a long-range facility plan that you were a part of and involved in discussions. And as you also know, we evaluate those plans quite often and update our plan as certain needs arise or take precedence over other needs. And we're constantly monitoring those changes in our buildings. And that helps us to determine when and what type of financing we might need to use for those projects. So we're going to kind of embark, hopefully, on a similar process to what we've done in the past with our other bond issues. But tonight we're going to be asking for an approval of an amount up to $15 million. This will allow us to relieve pressure on the operations fund by financing certain building improvements. And then, of course, we always look to purchase our buses and technology in this way as well. And this is a little bit different in that the intent with this approval is to provide flexibility. And when and if needs arise over the next several years, we would then come back to the board and ask for approval for specific project amounts. So this will set forth a maximum dollar amount to be spent on these projects in total. Once it is determined that a project should be addressed, like I said, we'll come back to the board for approvals for each specific bond issue. We don't have to ask for the whole amount, $15 million, but we would have that approval from the board to work from. So with that being stated at $15 million, the bonds would have an estimated hard cost of $14,650,000 and estimated soft costs and cost of issuance of $350,000. Again, these are maximum estimates so that we could go up to those amounts. If it were to be more than that, we would come back to you with other approval as well. For the other legal parameters that we want to share with you, the maximum interest rate on the bonds will be 6%, although if we were to issue the bonds today, we would be closer to 4%. The interest cost to repay the $15 million is estimated to be $1.99 million, and the maximum annual payment will not exceed $5 million. Again, Those are maximums and would be done in smaller bond issues as we need them. The plan to repay the bonds in a way to maintain, we plan to repay the bonds in a way to maintain the current debt service levy moving forward in order to not increase the taxpayer's liability.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Gizzi. We will now open the public hearing. Ms. Rush, do we have anyone registered to speak this evening?
We do not.
We do not. Maybe staff members who would like to comment or speak this evening? Any board members who have any comments or questions for Mrs. Gizzi this evening? Okay. Thank you. Please note that this is just the first step in the legal process. No board action is legally required at this hearing. Rather, this hearing is solely to hear public comment. The board will continue to work with the administration and its professionals to look for efficiencies to conserve tax dollars while meeting our educational needs. The board will hold a second public hearing in this boardroom on August 25th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. On that note, I will close this hearing. Thank you, Mrs. Gizzi. Appreciate all of your work on this. Next on the agenda is citizens' comments on agenda items. Do we have anyone?
We do not.
We do not. Thank you. Next, we have consideration of routine business. We will be approving minutes from the executive session meeting minutes dated July 14th, 2025, special session meeting minutes dated July 14th, 2025, and regular meeting minutes dated July 14th, 2025. Do I have a motion on the minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. Mr. McKinney?
Yes.
Mr. Hooker?
Yes.
Mrs. Wooten?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. Motion passes. Next is claims and finances. Tonight we will be approving payroll claims dated July 18th, 2025, payroll claims dated August 1st, 2025, and claims dated July 31st, 2025. I have a motion on the claims and finances.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. Mr. McKinney?
Yes.
Mr. Hooker?
Yes.
Mrs. Wooten?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
And I'm a yes myself. Motion passes. Next, we have the personnel report. We will be approving the personnel report dated August 11th, 2025. Can I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve the personnel report as presented.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. Mr. McKinney?
Yes.
Mr. Hooker?
Yes.
Mrs. Wooten?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. Motion passes. Next, we have donations with Mrs. Gizzi.
So we have two donations tonight for board approval. First, we have Mara Coleman, who has issued a check for $500 to Sugar Creek's ECA. This is to be used for the Sugar Creek Music Department. And the second donation is from an anonymous donor of $50, and that donation will be used to pay an upcoming daycare food invoice. So we're asking for board approval at this time.
Do I have a motion on the donations?
I'll move to approve the donations.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. Mr. McKinney?
Yes.
Mr. Hooker?
Yes.
Mrs. Wooten?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to new business. First up under new business, we have the mental health statement of work with Mrs. Eastis.
Yes, thank you. So as you've approved in the past, we do have an agreement with Square One. They will continue to be our primary mental health provider. But like with many things in life, it's good to have a menu of options so that we're meeting the needs of all of our students who require some mental health services. And so Cartwheel, the agreement is actually with the Central Indiana Education Service Center. We're getting cooperative purchasing through them for this agreement with Cartwheel. And so we're excited to have another option to provide to families who for one reason or another just need something different. So we're asking for approval of this agreement this evening.
Okay, could I have a motion on the mental health agreement as presented?
I'll make a motion to approve the mental health statement of work as presented.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any comments or questions?
Katie, is that 1 to 25 total in the full district?
That's correct. So something we'd like to do is try that number and then assess at the end of the year to see if that was just right or if we need more spaces for students. So stay tuned on
I think we're all aware the mental health needs are high right now for lots of families, so I appreciate that our students will have an additional opportunity if needed. So thank you. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. Mr. McKinney?
Yes.
Mr. Hooker?
Yes.
Mrs. Wooten?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
And I'm a yes, motion passes. Thank you. Next, under new business, is the body safety curricular materials with Mr. Mitchner.
Well, good evening. So we have two things in terms of curriculum and programming that we are asking for approval for tonight. As you know, there were several laws that were passed in the Indiana General Assembly this year, one of them being SCA 442. That's been touted as the overall human sexuality law, but there's multiple facets to it, and one of them being the idea of consent and bodily autonomy. And as with previous Indiana code, there's also a child abuse prevention programming that we do as well. And so this first part with body safety curriculum materials is the programming that we do through Zoe's Place, the Monique Burr Foundation curricular materials that they use in the program for body safety and consent. And so it's things that we've done in the past, but with this new law with SEA 442, the idea of consent, it's something that we are asking for board approval for so that we can post it on our website. As in previous years, we'll have a parent information night, we'll have a parent opt-out availability for parents as well. And so we are asking for approval to do that now, similar to what we've done in years past, but asking for approval because of the new SEA 442.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll start with the, could I have a motion on the body safety curriculum materials?
I'll make a motion to approve the body safety curriculum materials for K through 12 as presented.
Moved and seconded. Any comments or questions? We haven't had access to these videos before, so I watched them and I looked through all of the attachments, and it's good stuff. It's important stuff. Some of it's hard to watch, and as a parent, you go, oh, I don't want to think about this, but that's exactly why we need to be providing this for our students. So thank you. I love that. Any other comments or questions?
Is that video new this year? Is that one that the kids are
No,
familiar with?
it's
the
previous.
same.
Yeah, they're going to update video with if there's any grammatical things or anything like that they need to fix. But essentially, it's going to be the same year to year until they give us updated video. So.
All right, any additional comments or questions? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. Mr. McKinney?
Yes.
Mr. Hooker?
Yes.
Mrs. Wooten?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. Motion passes. And then next, separately, we need to approve the human sexuality curriculum materials for the high school health class.
Yes, thank you. So this is under the same law, but it's similar to SCA 65 from a few years ago, but it's a little bit more in detail with the content when human sexuality is discussed, in particular in a health class. It's not a mandate that this is covered, but it is. If it is covered, then a little bit more detailed than some of the content that needs to be required. So a little bit more detailed than some of the content that needs to be required. So.
Thank you. Could I have a motion on the human sexuality curriculum materials for the high school health class, please?
I'll make a motion to approve the human sexuality curriculum materials for high school health classes as presented.
Moved and seconded. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. Mr. McKinney?
Yes.
Mr. Hooker?
Yes.
Mrs. Wooten?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. Motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Mitchell.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate all your work on this. Okay, next we have first reading of a whole bunch of policies, and Mr. McKinney's going to lead us through those.
All right, so again, we have several policies, and coming out of the legislative session, July 1 was a key date that a lot of these went into effect. And so we're making, the majority of these changes are driven by new state law. So we didn't have a lot of say in all these, but we'll walk through each one of them to start with. And remember, this is the first reading, so there is no vote taken. You'll have another month to ask questions of Laura, myself, Dr. Pleat, to come up with, if there's any things that you have questions or would like to change. So we'll walk through each one of these quickly and just kind of touch base on here's what's changing. So remember, we are usually accustomed to red means delete and green means put in. And since we're all now with Church, Hiddle, and Antrim, and they're supplying us with our changes, it's the opposite. So red is we're putting it in there, and then if we're taking it out, it's got a strike through in it. So just kind of, as you look through this for the next month, or if you haven't looked at it, hopefully that answers some of your questions. So we'll pull these up on the screen here and just hit the highlights. So anything that, the first one is A100, non-discrimination and anti-harassment. So this is a Senate bill that required these changes. References to gender separate from sex have been removed based on the changes. And you can kind of see that the red is added based on what our law firm has suggested. And I think there was only one piece in there. It was up at the top.
I'm pretty sure.
All right, so the next one is B100, Board Authority and Philosophy. And that one is, we changed some stuff. It says in collaboration with the superintendent and in compliance with board policy. It was some other wording in there previous, and so we added that in there. It just kind of talks about something we're already doing, which is working with the superintendent. And if a board's not working with the superintendent, you have much bigger problems than policy B100. So we're already doing this. This is a non-event, so we're just complying with the state law. Next one is B150. And so this one, they changed it from 15 days to 30 days when we have to have our first meeting for organizational purposes. Sometimes the 15th lands on either the day of a lot of people's board meetings, or they, different places have it across the state at different times. And ours sometimes came pretty close to the 15th. So they have allowed us 30 days. And so that also means that Sarah doesn't have to sprint to the courthouse to give all that information to them. So there's a little bit more time there, and they increased it from 15 to 30. Next one is B200, which is membership. So this one, we had a couple of places. One is that the minimum age for a board member went from 21 to 18. So we could have a senior in high school on our board. And then it revises the methodology for replacing board members. So this kind of goes along with the state law of declaring parties or nonpartisan. So if you declare a party and you resign from the board, a caucus puts the new board member in. If they declare nonpartisan and they resign from the board, then it's the same way it's always been. The board appoints the new person. So that's one of the big changes. And then the other one is board compensation, which is you can go up to 10% of the beginning teacher's salary. So that's all for B200. So I would encourage you to, this one, the B200 directly relates to us and how our board functions, and we replace people, so it's a good thing to have some understanding of that. The next one is C175, which is a student attendance, academic engagement, and truancy prevention policy. So this one is the ever popular juggling act of what is an excused absence and what is an unexcused absence and what is the definition of an absent student. So some people might think that it's a pretty cut and dry, but it's not anymore. So, and then it calls for the conference of 10 days. What happens there and what the administrators are supposed to do, what the probation office and prosecuting is supposed to do. There was some pieces in there that we cut a whole bunch of stuff out. It kind of looks dirty now, but it was because it was better to take it all out and rewrite it than to kind of try to chop it up and make it sound like it should. So we just rewrote it. Well, not we, Amber. And she rewrote it in a way that we could read it, and we just crossed off all the other stuff. So that's this one is kind of messed up a little bit because it has a little bit more red strike-throughs in it. Oh yeah, and I always learned that absent and truant were very similar, but I guess they're not, so whatever. But that's my own notes. But the next one is anti-bullying. So there was some things that we had to take out of there, and the main thing was adding the timeline of reporting. So right there. So the corporation shall inform the parents of all students involved in the alleged incidents before the end of the next school day after the school becomes aware of the possible incident. So if you remember, there was some highly publicized things from other corporations that have caused this to happen, and it continues to get refined. And so it gives the administrator some more time to be able to report that versus having to, if it happens at the end of the school day, how's that all happen and what do they need to do? All right. So the next one is C225, surveys and parental access to instructional material. So this one we just kind of went through. You saw Mr. Mitchner talk about all that and how it gets posted on our website, and it must be posted out there on the website. The next one is C4, 425, student suicide prevention and awareness. This is one that changed. State law doesn't require this any longer, but we felt like it was important to continue the practice of what we're doing, even though it is not required. So this is, and Mrs. East has brought some of that to us tonight about another possibility for mental health, right? And this is so key that we continue to do that. And Laura and I and Dr. Bleak felt strongly enough that we need to keep this in the curriculum. And so, this is one that is not required by state law any longer because they took it out, but we feel as a school corporation it is important. Next one is D200, standard of care and supervision of students. So this one is a House Enrolled Act that is regarding the notice to employees and parents of student if the allegation against an employee determined to be unsubstantiated or otherwise dismissed. Says this, if the student makes an allegation that an employee of the corporation is engaged in misconduct pertaining to this, and it's unsubstantiated, the corporation will provide written notice within 14 days to both the employee and the parent regarding the determination. So there is some communication of what that happens, and it has to be within 14 days. The next one is E200, religious release time and credit for religious education. Outlines the requirements in our new Indiana code here, And it also includes some revised language on the education qualifies for high school credit. So we're kind of talking through that, and when it happens, it happens. But right now, they're trying to figure out how to do that because there is no course for religious education in the DOE. So next one is F-125, Purchasing Procedures and Capital Assets. This one is adding some language on recent Indiana State Board of Accounts guidance and federal procurement regulatory activity. So it just talks about some different, there were some state-funded purchases, $250,000 for federal, right? That wasn't in there. We added that in based on some guidance from the State Board of Accounts. All right, the next one is G350. And that is audio, video, and digital recording on school property and school meetings. So this is how parents can record meetings at school with administrators and what they can do and how they can do it and when they can tell us. And a lot of that is last minute. And so we will develop some procedures based on how the parents respond to that to be able to try to have a level playing field there so that everything gets taken care of properly. Next one is G360, which is data breach and protection. So this is giving us timelines of when we have to notify if our data has been compromised and when we have to notify those people, and it's within 48 hours. And it kind of gives you, here's what is considered a data breach and what we need to do. The next one is, and the last one is H100. Oh no, there's one more after that. G475, sorry, I skipped that one. The drone policy, the ever popular drone policy. So we've had some discussions about how we manage drones, and a lot of it comes from the football team. But just making sure that everybody's aware of what it is and who can do it and how they go about getting permission to do that, and it provides our athletic departments with some flexibility. So hopefully we don't fly drones at middle school football games, but who knows. And then the last one is H100, school visitors and parent-family engagement. And this one's new language from the Senate Enrolled Act regarding parental rights to direct education and parental access to that information. So you can see there that it talks about how they're going to go about doing that and what their rights are as parents to look at the curriculum material. So with that was walk through each one of them here. If you have some questions, comments, concerns between now and it's going to be shortened. Are we going to go through the second one on August 25th hearing? So probably go through that. So it is a shortened time frame. So if you would take a look at that. If you have any questions, talk to Laura, myself, or Dr. Pleak, and we can talk you through more details if you have some questions. No actions needed here, just a presentation.
Thank you, Mr. McKinney. Policy is so much easier to manage than it used to be, but it is still a big chunk of work. So,
And it's a lot of fun.
I feel like we achieved a lot in our 3-hour chunk of time to work through all of this, and I appreciate you giving us the Cliff Notes version on it this evening, Mr. McKinney. All right, moving on. Informal comments. Do we have any this evening? We do not. No informal comments. Great. Next is board member comments. Mr. McKinney, what do you have?
Great start to the school year. I got no phone calls, so that's a good deal. That's always nice when you have no phone calls about transportation or stuff like that. So that's good. So hats off to Mr. Whitaker. Great start getting our fall sports going. other fall activities. The band's out there practicing all the time, so I'm sure they'll be hitting it hard, but great start to the school year. I loved your opening day speeches and remarks and stuff like that, so nice job.
Mr. Hope?
I would just say that too. Welcome back, and everybody got off to a good start. It sounds like I was going to talk about how I enjoyed the customized parking lot, the senior painted parking lot. I had a chance to walk through there the other night, and there's Darth Vader's, and I think there's probably TikTok trends or something that I don't understand on there, inspiring messages. But it looked like they took a lot of time and pride, and that was cool to see. So great start to the year's with course.
Thank you. Mr. Walker?
Yes, I have a few things to add tonight. I just want to thank Amber and Craig and Chris Young for going through the extra effort of setting this up for me. I know it's kind of a pain, but it definitely helps me out, so I really appreciate those guys doing that. Another great start to the school year. I love being a part of the celebration. The beginning celebration is always one of my favorite things to attend and to see the staff. And Dr. Plick did a great job, and her staff in leading that. And it's just fun to be a part of that. The buildings look wonderful. Thank you for the tour on that. Great job to the building administrators for getting those buildings cleaned and turned around in such a short time frame. And hats off to all the custodial staff and the facilities and grounds staff, Matt Lawson in particular. I mean, while most teachers and administrators are enjoying their summer break, those guys are hard at work doing the little things that help get us back in the school building in the fall. So thank you to those individuals and administrators that are in attendance. Please express my gratefulness to your custodial staff when you see them in passing. So thank you to Dr. Pleak for her efforts and leadership in the recent meeting with the county and town officials for the upcoming roundabout project. That's a big undertaking, and her leadership and organizational skills were on full display at that meeting. So I appreciate that, and the communication you're making for hopefully what is to be a potential stoplight at Bender Road to help make that safer for our students. So, and also good luck to all the upcoming fall sports. I think they start next week officially. I know there's a soccer game, and I think the girls golf might have actually already started. I think they started yesterday or today. So off to a great start. I look forward to going to some different events and seeing everybody. So that's it.
Thanks, Mr. Walker. Mrs. Wooten?
Yeah, I've heard from people at all different levels, and they're all happy, excited, and really excited to have childcare down to tiny babies. Still so happy about that. And thrilled to see kindergartners with all the same color on every day of the week for the first week. So just that kind of thing was good.
Mrs. Eastis?
I want to recognize our hiring agents in the district, so all of our principals, assistant principals, transportation, maintenance, because we're in really great shape with staffing. And so, I know, knock on wood. I just want to thank them for the countless hours they spend looking at applications, interviewing, and getting the right people in front of our kids. So, great job. Thank you.
Dr. Pleak?
What I wanted to mention today is the opening day, the kickoff, we talked about being a great teammate and what it means to commit to the team, and one of it was valuing each other. So this year we kicked off, recognize a great teammate that's going above and beyond, and all they need to do is email me, and we've gotten a great start. So I may not do this every meeting, but I'm going to do it this meeting. We have recognized 6 employees so far: Carissa Corman, David Eastis, Mike Jarrett, Matt Lawson, Dan Schroeder, James Morton. And if you understand all that, they're all part of facilities, whether it is grounds, maintenance, or custodial. And it didn't cut, some of it came from them, administrators, other staff members. So it's a wide variety of people that are just recognizing the work that they are doing. So they've all been greatly surprised, and it's fun celebrating. So we'll continue to look for other ways that we recognize team members that go above and beyond and help us out. So been a great start to the year. I do think the team and all of that as we reared up and got going. And yeah, things are going really well.
Great.
Thank you.
We like to hear that. I want to echo what Mr. Walker was saying. I was really impressed on the building tour this year. I've missed building tours the last 2 years because I was not at opening day. And I told my husband I had to be at opening day this year. And I commented to Dr. Fleet how wonderful all the buildings looked. And then I saw this post the other day. It said, schools don't just open in August. They're rebuilt by teachers and staff who give their summer so your kids have a fresh start. The amount of work it takes to reopen a school is an overlooked miracle every year. And I think that's true. You know, the kids go away and then they come back and, you know, there's new bulletin boards and everything's sparkling and clean. And I don't know that families stop and think about how all that work happens. So thank you to all of your staff for having beautiful spaces and the bulletin boards. I enjoyed all the bulletin boards I saw in all of the buildings. It's just fun for the kids. So thank you for all of that work and effort. All right. Does anybody have anything else they would like to add? No? Then I would like to make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Looking second. Any other comments or questions? No? Okay. Mr. McKinney.
Yes.
Mr. Hofer.
Yes.
Mrs. Wu.
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
And I'm a yes. Motion passes. We